Srila Guru Maharaj, with him originates the concept of union in separation. And this is a very profound concept. There's union, there's separation, and here, union in separation. And this is based upon his reasoning. His thinking is based upon Mahaprabhu. And as Mahaprabhu is described in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Mahaprabhu is described in the Chaitanya Bhagavat. But this is only described in the pages of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Because different devotees having different devotional mood have a different perspective or way of seeing Mahaprabhu, of seeing Krishna. We say Krishna is Akhila Rasamrita Murti. So all the rasas, he's Rasaraj, he's reciprocating all. And we know from Rupa Goswami 5 general categories: Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhura. And Madhura subdivided into Swakya, Parakya. Wedded and paramour. Conjugal love and the position of the paramour. So Krishna, he's reciprocating with everyone. Ye yata mam prapadyante tam tateva bhajamyaham. Sometimes we'll hear mention of different sampradayas. Why are there 4 if the truth is one? Because that truth is one. Vedanti tattva vidas tattvam yajnanam advayam brahmeti paramat meti bhagavaniti savyate. But it has a variegated position. So these things are revealed, candid, private position, thinking, feeling of Krishna is revealed in the pages of Chaitanya Charitamrita, particularly in the beginning, where Krishna says, if someone's natural love and affection for me, if the natural flow of love from their heart is constrained or constricted by awareness of my divinity, or what is sometimes called Aiswarja Gyan, the majestic aspect of divinity, if that comes to the fore and constrains the natural flow of love from the heart, Krishna is saying there, I'm disappointed. It's not dismissed as being real or legitimate. He's just expressing some disappointment. There's some other deeper, more natural, free love. Right? Love beyond calculation, jnana shunya bhakti. Right? Without any anticipation of reward, right? Remuneration. So we see that Krishna, he's a bhav consumer. We're sometimes using the word mood, But Guru Maharaj, once pressing the issue further and wanting to go to a more precise, refined concept of bhav, as so many times he himself also said mood, devotional mood, etc. But on this one particular occasion, he was pressing it. And I was there, some other devotees there were saying, well, mood, feeling, mood can change, feeling. And he said, bhav means heart. If really pressed, means heart. Like the poet says, in the deep heart's core. So there's gradation everywhere and in everything. This Guru Maharaj always emphasized, that there's gradation everywhere and in everything. Even in the domain of heart. We'll say heart reigns supreme, that's a general principle. But even in the domain of heart, there's gradation, depths of heart. Even as the poet said, the deep heart's core. Right? So, what is the deep heart's core? What is the greatest depth of heart? So, as we say, in the beginning, Krishna's making some observations. If on account of awareness of my divinity, the majestic aspect, it constrains the heart, it's disappointing for me. He said, rather, I like when someone treats me as a friend, as in the case of Sakyarasa, the cowherd boys. To get to the point where someone can actually intimately interact with divinity and forget his divinity. Right? Jnana shunya bhakti, devotion not contaminated by knowing. And Guru Maharaj has mentioned this in different ways. Sometimes he calls it noble ignorance. Right? He says Jnana shunya bhakti is an oxymoron, appears to be. Knowledge-free devotion. But he makes the point, just as ignorance is undesirable, in this higher plane, knowledge, knowing, is also undesirable. Jnane prayasamudapassanamanta eva, in the words of Brahma, in the Brahma Stuti, the 14th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, where he's saying, I tried to mentally and intellectually comprehend Krishna, and I was misled by my intellect, by my intellectual analysis of what I could understand, the stereotypes of the infinite. I had a stereotype conception about what God should be, the infinite. Just as he said, one of his names is Yagyabhuk, which means he eats the remnants of yagya, of sacrifice. He said, but that, the Yagyabhuk, and we know, what does that mean? As we heard in the Brahmins chapter, right, with the Brahmins, they've got a fire going, they're chanting mantras, they're offering so many things, and then in the end, he said, that I understand, Yagyabhuk, the one who enjoys the results of the sacrifice. That's generally the way he eats. That divine, absolute person can sit as a cowherd boy on the banks of the Jamuna River with his friends eating, who have brought their lunches from their mothers, and he's placing food in their mouth and they're placing food in his mouth. So this, my stereotype of the infinite, of divinity, of God, couldn't accommodate such a thing. This is Jnane prayasamudapassanamanta eva. So give up trying to understand him that way, trying to know him. conventional knowledge, as misleading as ignorance, the other side of that coin. So jnana shunya bhakti, or as I said, Guru Maharaj told, noble ignorance. And how does this take place? On account of so much love and affection, automatically the majestic aspect is eclipsed and recedes into the background and becomes a non-factor. So Krishna stating his preference, those who can deal with me like that as equals, that captures my imagination. That captures me, heart and soul. That they can come to the point of dealing with me as an equal, or even challenge me. And we know in Vatsalya Rasa, the devotee takes a higher position. I remember many years ago hearing Srila Prabhupada say about Mayavadis, an impersonalist wanting to be one with Krishna, and he said, referring to Vatsalya Rasa Nanda Yashoda, he said, but the devotee becomes greater than Krishna. Because generally we'll think, oh, how offensive, someone wants to be equal to God. He said, no, here we see the devotee is greater than God. He's in a higher position. Ahang bhakta paradino hyasvan tantra ivadvija sarubir bhakta hridayo bhaktar bhakta jana priya. In the 9th canto of the Bhagavatam, Krishna reveals, he's saying, although I was announced in the beginning of the Bhagavatam as Swarat, means independent. Guru Maharaj puts it in Hegelian terms. Reality is for itself and by itself. He exists to fulfill his own purpose. Right? Saraswati Thakur's words, the transcendental autocrat. Right? So, announced as totally independent, Swarat, but here he's saying, Aham bhakta paradino hyasvan tantra ivadvija. In the presence of devotion, it's as if I lose my independence. I come under the control of the devotee. Sri Krishna Karshini Chasa. Rupa Goswami is saying, this is, when he mentions 6 qualities or aspects of devotion, pure devotion, in the beginning of his book, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the book of devotion, Kleshagni, Subadha, Moksha, Lagutakrit, Sandrananda Visheshatma, Sri Krishna Karshini Chasa, culminates in attracting all attractive Krishna. All attractive Krishna cannot resist devotion. This is the point. He can't resist that. But Bhavagrahi Janardana, he's a bhav consumer. So the type of, going back to the gradation of devotion, it can go deeper, it can go to a deeper region of the heart. That becomes more attractive to Krishna. And just to finish what was said before, we went to Vatsalya, becoming greater, but he tells in that very critical beginning section of Charitamrita, takes it to the extreme. When he uses the word Bhartsan, which means to curse, he said, if my beloved, and here meaning Srimati Radharani, if every day this month we can praise Radharani, that will be good for us. In song and remembrance, and any way we can every day say, and every day of our lives, but particularly this Kartik month, some special aspect of her can be appreciated. So he says, if she curses me, right? Sometimes we hear man, means loving anger. Saying, if she sometimes is cursing me, right, and these spats of these love affairs, he said her curse is sweeter to my ear than the reverential hymns of the Vedas. Right? The Vedas, the Upanishads, they're all praising Krishna in such high language, in the Sanskrit language, right? Saying how wonderful is Krishna, his many avatars, incarnations. He descends in this world mercifully to redirect, save the fallen soul. And here, this is very candid and personal, what's being given in Charitamrita. Krishna saying, if Radharani is cursing me for some perceived misbehavior, that is so sweet to my ear. Whatever the Vedas is, I don't even know. I can't even pay attention to it. So then, this is mysterious. All the praise, he's saying, that's a lower level idea. As far as this is Krishna weighing in on these things personally. Right? But what seems to be unflattering or insulting speech is sweeter to my ear. Then we'll have to think, well, what would cause that? What would cause Radharani and her group to start abusing Krishna, to say abusive things to him? One of those things could be in separation. Sometimes we hear in the Bhagavatam, Vishwanath telling they can't understand why they've given up everything for Krishna. Asamaho charanarenu jisamahangsham Brindavane kim api gomalato sadinam yadushjajam swajanam arjapatam chahitva. They've given up the Arjapata, the Vedic path. Devotees, they're always very happy to talk about Vedic this and Vedic that, and everyone should follow that. And what are we told? The Braja Gopis, they gave that up a long time ago. That's not their interest. They're not interested in following the Vedas, in being Vedic. Right? Arjapata means the Vedic way. Arja, Arya, Aryan, Arjapata, the path of the Aryans, Hitva. They gave it up, they crossed over it, and offering themselves to Krishna. So they can't understand. We gave up everything for you and you're rejecting us. Right? Why is that? Right? How is that possible? Krishna is saying, I lose my independence in the presence of devotion. We hear Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur say, when the Krishna, when he sees, like we see when we come here, there's so many, there's the smell of flowers in the air. We told before of the Rajnigandha, the night queen, that fragrance that overwhelms all others. And we smell, this place is so divine, and remembrance makes us remember Krishna just by living here. And there are so many things arranged in such a way as to make us remember. So when Krishna smells the evening jasmine and sees the moon in a particular position, he thinks, oh, he gets some divine inspiration for Rasa Lila. And Yoga Maya and Icha Shakti and all these, they make all the arrangements necessary. And we're told Krishna sounds his flute, Gayatri Murlista Kirtanam Danam Radhapadam Dhimai, which is the sound to inspire the service of the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. We have to remember, this is all seva. Seva is without any aggressive or enjoying aspect. So Braja Gopis go running. They leave their homes, their families, their babies, their parents, their husbands, and they're not loose women. When we say they cross the Arjapata, the Vedic path, means they're following everything perfectly up to this point, but in response to Krishna, there's nothing that can constrain them. Like Krishna telling in that Charitamrita beginning, there's nothing that can check them. Nothing that can check the natural flow of love in their hearts. Raga Bhakti. That's what it means. Ahoitukiya pratyata. Can't be checked. Irresistible, cannot be, nothing can stop it. So they go to Krishna, they're the personifications of Sarvadharmam Paritaja, what? Mam ekam sharanam braja. Braja sharanam, a type of surrender, Braja Gopis, this wholesale, self-oblivion, self-forgetfulness, right? And offering themselves fully to Krishna. And they arrive, and Krishna, what does he say? You all shouldn't be here. And they're like, what? Krishna said, this is all inappropriate. They can't believe this. And Krishna is giving all these different reasons why they should go home. And it's like, hey, Bhagavan. And if you think about this, that janma karma chamedevam evam yo veti tattvata tyaktva deham punar janma naiti mam eti. It may have taken millions of lifetimes and millions of creations to finally achieve this position. And they're being rejected by Krishna. Why? Because the heart will yield a superior substance. What Guru Maharaj said, when you put love and affection under pressure, you're squeezing love and affection, what will happen? Then what type of love and affection will come out? If it's pressured to the extreme, he's rejected, you go home. It's not appropriate for girls to be here in the forest at night, what to speak of with a young boy like myself, although I'm a perfect brahmachari, so there's nothing to worry about. And so many things, and your babies are waiting, your parents, your father, everyone must be worried, what are you, so many things. And Vishwanath Chakrabarti says, in one scene, where when they realize they're being rejected by Krishna, the gopis, they hang their heads down and they start crying and tears are pouring down there, soiling their everything. He said, why? Because they also know that Krishna is controlled by prem and they're being rejected. So they're thinking, we're not devotees. In one sense, it's a pathetic, pitiful scene. They think, why did we give up everything? We have no love for Krishna. It's all a hoax that we gave up and we're celebrated as such great devotees. If we were, he wouldn't deny us. Now he's rejecting us and sending us home. So the greatest devotees, their mood expressed by Radharani and echoed by Mahaprabhu. No prema gandhasti dharapi me haro krandami so bhagya baram prakashitam Bongshi Bilashai. Says, I don't have a scent of the fragrance of Krishna Prem, what to speak of a drop. So it appears that Krishna is being cruel. But Krishna, he is above consumer. He knows that when the heart is put in a vice like this, under the most intense pressure, it's going to yield a superior substance. Right? So, also at that point, Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur mentions that he gives a nice example for us to understand all the different levels of qualification and participation by saying that if a king wants to enjoy mangoes, then the people who arrange the mangoes, they go to a mango tree and they pick a whole bunch of mangoes. And when they return to the king's kitchen, they see, all right, this is ready for enjoying now. This needs a few days. This one, and they separate them into different categories. So when Krishna gives the indication to Yogamaya and his Shakti, his potencies, that he wants to enjoy, they see Yogamaya, what Guru Maharaj calls the ever-watchful eye of Yogamaya, seeing all the qualifications of all the different servitors. Some are ready to go now, others, Krishna Lila is scripted and cast by Yogamaya and Baladev. Others, there'll be some impediment to prevent them from connecting with Krishna. And what that will do, they'll be placed in a position of separation. And it will ignite a fire of separation in their hearts. And that fire of separation will burn away whatever might have remained of any sort of impurity or untoward aspect. The fire of separation will burn that away. Just as those mangoes that aren't ready to be enjoyed at that time, they're put in the sun. And by the heat of the sun, they achieve the right position. So by the fire of separation, they become qualified. That's one thing. And another thing is, which is the basis, the whole basis of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Baihe Vishajalahoy Bitare Anandamoy Krishna Premer Adbhuta Charit. These seemingly contradictory characteristics. On the one hand, someone burning the fire of separation from Krishna and Krishna Prem. Right? It's as if they've been poisoned. Right? So at the same time, it's like they're bathing, they're in a shower of nectar, of ecstatic joy. So there's an English saying, separation makes the heart grow fonder. So when Krishna sent his message through Uddhava to the Braja Gopis, one point that is discussed is, like, we have these cameras, right? And they have what you call depth of focus. So sometimes you can focus on something, everything else becomes blurred. And then there's infinity, where everything comes into focus. So the parallel is given there, that in Krishna's presence, one is riveted to the vision of Krishna, everything else is comparatively blurred. But in the absence of Krishna, all of the environment gets, infinite depth of field, the depth of field of seeing the infinite. Everything becomes a source of remembrance to the devotee in separation. And this is what Guru Maharaj calls union in separation. And Vishwanath says that when Krishna is sending the message to the Braja Gopis, he's saying that when you're in someone's presence, they're very much in your eye, but not as much in your heart and mind. He's saying, but when they're not in your vision, the field of your vision, they're very much, this is when love is involved, they're fully manifest in your heart, your mind and heart. So he's saying, although I am away from you, in that separation, you're always in my heart and mind, as I am in yours. So then he says, actually only your bodies, only my body seems to be in Mathura, and your bodies seem to be in Vrindavan, but we're eternally united in heart and mind. When this is again dealt with in the beginning of the Charitamrita, where, and it has something to do with Parakiya Bhav, meaning not only paramour, but the sense of another, that it manifests in Sakya Rasa as cowherd boys hearing rumors that Gopal is not one of us. Right? They're playing, you can imagine, they're all friends, they all think everyone's the same, and then someone says, some people say that Gopal is not like us. What? Some people, they say Gopal is like a demigod. I heard someone say he's like God, the ultimate God. No. Gopal, yes, people are saying that. Who? I don't know, just heard some people say. Because he's doing so many things, lifting the Govardhan hill, but we were helping. And you see their whole, the stick, others were helping, it looked like, he could have dropped it, we were helping. That's true. And many things, they're having discussions. So what that does is that makes them, the fear that he might not be theirs, belong to them, makes them pull him closer to their hearts, go in the greater depth of heart. Same thing with Yashoda. And she hears, they say, some people say he's the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, that he's not my son. She thinks these are, or that he's God. Or she said, some people have the audacity to say he is unborn. I gave birth to my son, I know this is crazy. Say, he's unborn. A Jopi son of, and where is that offensive information found? In books like Bhagavad Gita, Ajopi san avayatma bhutanam ishwaropi san. That's what it means, noble ignorance, jnana shunya bhakti. They can't believe this stuff for a minute. Vasudeva and Devaki, after Krishna killed Kamsa, they were like this. But the cowherd boys and Krishna's family, they're all embracing him. They didn't think this was a display of God. Just, their boy, Krishna. He's our boy from our village. He knows, we taught him how to fight. Of course he's going to win. So, but Krishna tells, when the gopis are wondering, how could you separate yourself from us? We who can't live a moment in your absence. The only reason they didn't die is because it would make Krishna unhappy. The 10th stage of separation is death. They avoid that, although they're on the verge. So they're perpetually on the verge of death, but won't die because it would make Krishna sad. So they're saying, how could you leave us and leave Jamuna, Vrindavan? And Krishna tells them, because the type of love that you have for me in your hearts, na parayeham niravaja samyudam, I can't possibly repay. But one thing I can do is by apparently separating myself from you, it goes deeper and deeper and deeper. So the depths of separation, Guru Maharaj compares to hunger. Without hunger, food is not enjoyable. Guru Maharaj would sometimes make this as a side point, like a man might be a king, be the richest man in the world, but not have an appetite. He might own everything, but he doesn't own an appetite. So, hunger, that's what makes eating relishable. So, separation is what makes union appreciable. And lest we think we're being sold a false bill of goods by this, they're just telling that to jivas, because they don't have a shad anyway. So what are you going to tell these jiva souls? Right? Separation's higher, and they're so foolish they'll believe you. It's not like that. And this is revealed in Mahaprabhu's pastimes. Krishna, he's the ultimate enjoyer. We can't even conceive on what level Krishna can enjoy. Right? Rasa Leela Lakshmi Sahasra Satasam Brahma Sevyamanam Govindamari Purusham Tamaha Bhajami. Gurudev in one sentence telling. What's the difference? You want to understand the difference between Narayana Vaikuntha and Krishna of Goloka? One Lakshmi, one Narayan. Right? Lakshmi Sahasra Satasam Brahma Sevyamanam. Hundreds of thousands of Lakshmis for one Krishna. Krishna's enjoying capacity is inconceivable to us. Right? When Mahaprabhu and his devotee, Mahaprabhu is taking the position that he's a sannyasi and he should be very careful about how he eats. Right? Right? Give the sweets to the others, I'll take some lafra. And it's like the simplest vegetable, mixed vegetable. And Srup Damodar will say, or Mahaprabhu will say, you've made this is enough for so many. Advaita Acharya will say, in Jagannath Puri, as Jagannath, you're eating 56 offerings a day, hundreds and thousands of kilos. This is nothing. Right? But what's interesting, and we hear in Kir Chor Gopinath pastime, is that as Gopinath, he's already eaten the kir. Right? But as Mahaprabhu, he's very eager to get Gopinath kir. Right? As Gopinath, they gave him the bhog, and he enjoyed that. Right? And they're offering with love and affection. But as Mahaprabhu, they're giving him the prasad. He wants to taste the prasadam. Krishna, he's the one who makes prasadam. He's the prasadam maker. He knows all about it. He's given the bhog, and then it becomes prasadam, and that's a wonderful thing. But that Krishna, he wants to enjoy the prasadam the way a devotee does. So it's not that It's the inverse. We're thinking like, oh, we're missing out on all the enjoyment. Krishna gets to, what do we get? Nothing. A man said to Saraswati Thakur, what do we get? He said, nothing. You have no, what is our position? You have no position. I think, oh, so Krishna gets, you know, we're, he's so greedy. Couldn't he give a little something for little tiny jiva souls? We have niggardly notions of ecstasy. So that Krishna, who's the supreme enjoyer, ahangi sarva yagyanam bhokta cha prabhureva cha, and so many other ways, his estimation is that in the mutual enjoyment of himself and Srimati Radharani, that what she's experiencing is 10 million times greater than what I experience. That's his estimation of Krishna. This is what is expressed in Chaitanya Charitamrita. The candid, personal observations of Krishna that aren't found anywhere else. And he's thinking. He sees her behavior, the sort of ecstatic symptoms she exhibits, what she's tasting, you know, Sri Radhaya, Pranaya Mahima Kidrisho Vanayeva. There's a type of love, Mahabhav, Srupini, Radha Thakurani, that she alone experiences. No one else does. Even the super qualified. Swadyo Yashena Adbhuta Madhurima Kidrisham Somadiya Sokyam Chasya Maranubhavita Kidrisham Beti Lobha Tadbhavadya Samajani Garba Sachi Garba Sindho Harindu. So these three, he wants to experience the love that Radharani alone possesses, taste the sweetness of Krishna the way she does. Right? And her bhav, her heart, right? The waves of ecstasy that come to her heart. And then we'll say, well, what are the specific targets of Krishna as Mahaprabhu? Radha Bhavadyuti Subolita. When he's enveloped by the heart and halo of Radharani, what is it that he wants to experience repeatedly? Right? He has the best estimation of what is the ultimate ecstatic position. He has the best estimation of what is the highest state of divine love, the depth of prem, Radhar Mahima Prema Rasa Sima Jagata Janatake. And what are his focal points? Two things specifically. Right? Ratayatra and the Brahma Gita, Uddhava Darshan. Ratayatra, what is that? That's where separation reaches its zenith. Right? Notice, he's not dedicating his time, his energy, or as Gurudev liked to call it, his tasting matter to other things like this. These are what he wants to experience repeatedly. Right? Ratiyatra, where, what is it? After 100 years of separation of Radharani and Braja Gopis, it's inconceivable, who are cursing Brahma for making eyes that blink. Right? Radharani wishing in one place, I wish I had eyes like a fish that are just always open to drink the beauty of Krishna incessantly. So they're cursing Brahma for making eyelids that blink. Right? That's intolerable to them. That moment is like a night of Brahma. So, separation makes the heart grow fonder. And after 100 years of separation, so that means separation has reached its zenith, its highest position. And that's when Radharani and Braja Gopis meet Krishna in Kurukshetra and express their plea that he return to Vrindavan. Ahushchate nalina nava padaravindam yogeshware hridi vichinta magara bodhai sansara kupa patito taranavalam geham jusham manasi suryat sadhana. And Krishna's answer, Mayi bhakti bhutanam amritatvaya kalpatai distya madashin matsneho bhavatinam madapana. Everyone thinks their highest fortune is to have a connection with me, but I consider it my good fortune to be the object of the love and affection that's in your hearts. That's what he tells them. And when Radharani realizes that Krishna belongs to her heart and soul, to her and the Braja Gopis, then she said, now we can return. He is always and only ours, even though we may be separated, apparently separated from time to time. Actually, we are never separated. So, that is one point. The other one, so that, and Mahaprabhu is celebrating every year in Jagannath Puri, all the devotees come, and before Jagannath, singing these mysterious songs, he's in that condition. It's after 100 years of separation, the heart has been pressed to its ultimate depth. There's Krishna, but it's not the Krishna the way they want Krishna. Krishna is a king, Dwaraka Krishna. So they have to drag him back. And he's stunned in ecstasy, he needs some help. They pull him back by their heart's affection, the ropes of their heart's affection, they're pulling him back to Vrindavan. Right. That's one point. And then in the last 12 years of his life, 24 hours a day, behind closed doors, Uddhava Darshan. When the Brahma Gita, when Uddhava comes with the message for Radharani and Braja Gopis, and Radharani is in her divine madness of separation. And what is she doing? Cursing Krishna. But he says, that's sweeter to my ear than the hymns of the Vedas. This is announced at the beginning of Charitamrita, that this is the subject matter of this book, what hasn't been revealed previously. That the greatest depth of Krishna Prem, the greatest heights of Krishna Prem are achieved in separation. And that will awaken the greatest hunger for connection with Krishna. It will make union thousands of millions of times more relishable. And when Mahaprabhu, hearing from Ramananda, Guru Maharaj, his name was Ramendra Chandra Bhattacharya, then it became Ramendra Sundar. But later, because of his affinity for the Ramananda Samvad, Saraswati Thakur changed his name again to Ramananda, Ramananda Das. You look at the end of the Prema Dhamma Stotram, it says Ramananda Das in the last few slokas. Because of this affinity for the Ramananda Samvad, which Guru Maharaj said is his whole ontological method springs out of there, about the gradation and depths. And there, when, after expressing the highest aspects of Krishna Prem, when Mahaprabhu says to Ramananda, anything more you could say? And Ramananda says, up to this point, everything I'm saying has some sort of shastric reference or basis. And that was tacitly understood as the basis of this conversation. He said, I could say something more, but I can't quote any scripture to support it. I've written my own song to express these things, and I don't know whether you'll appreciate hearing it. Srila Gurudev liked to sing this song from time to time, Srila Guru Maharaj. That is too high. But at the same time, we can just say one thing is, he says that sometimes in their deep union, when they're lost in one another, their identities are lost. Radha and Krishna may think that they've lost one another, and even in the depths of union, they're feeling separation. And Mahaprabhu's put his hand over the mouth of Rama. Don't say anymore. And Ramananda discovers Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, saying, when I found you on the bank of the Godavari, you looked like the sun dressed as a sannyasi sitting on the banks. So effulgent. He said, now, though, when I look, I'm not seeing a sannyasi anymore. When I look at you, I see there is Shama Goparup, Shama Sundar Krishna. And Mahaprabhu deflecting, no, oh, you are Mahabhagavata. We've read about that in the scriptures. Your vision is so advanced. You see Krishna everywhere and in everything. So when you look at me, you're also seeing Krishna. And Ramana said, my Lord, please don't tease me that way. I don't only see Krishna. Mahaprabhu is being discovered. Mahaprabhu, what? You see something more than Krishna. He said, yes, I see there is a golden girl enveloping Krishna. What is this? There's Shyamasundar Krishna and this golden girl enveloping Krishna. It's too much for me to conceive. And Mahaprabhu says, you know, Rasaraj Mahabhav. You're seeing Rasaraj Krishna, Mahabhav's Radharani, the two of them mingling, and Ramananda lost consciousness. But here he discovered really the internal identity of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But we'll say, Gurudev quoted this sloka of Rupa Goswami, Pidabi Navakala Kuta Katuta Garbhasya Nivasano Nishandena Mudam Sudha Madhurima Ahankara Sankochane Prema Sundari Nanda Nandana Paro Yashantare Jayante Yashantane Jayante Putamasya Vakra Madarais Taineva Vikrantaya. He said, what was his tasting matter? Everyone in the world, Gurudev knows something about the joys of union. He said, even the animals. What is his tasting matter? He said, but the joy that can be experienced from separation, that is not known to the animals or the animal-like men. Right? The depths of separation. Yadi Gorna Hoita Tabiki Hoita Kemari Daritam Dehe Radhar Mahima Prema Rasasima Jagata Janatake. And Mahaprabhu came down the world to reveal this. This is the heart. In the heart, separation is achieved its depth in the heart of Srimati Radharani. Right? She says, I can't. The proof that I have no love for Krishna is that I didn't die being separated from him. If one really has Krishna Prem, they can't live without Krishna for a moment. And that, look at me, I'm living, showing my face to the world. That means I have no love for Krishna. This is the mysterious method of inversion for measuring the depth of genuine love and affection for Krishna. So, and fortunately for us, as Srila Guru Maharaj is advising, for the fallen souls, this is the safe approach to Krishna. Whereas trying to culture union will be injurious to spiritual growth, development, seriously damaging. Whereas separation is a legitimate position. Tavakatamritam tapta jivanam kavibhiriditam kalmasha apaham. And what is the method for bringing relief to the anguish of separation? What is practiced by Braja Gopis? To hear about Krishna, to speak about Krishna. after Krishna lifted the Govardhan hill and then put it and saved everyone and then put it back in place, when the gopis are going home, they're all excited. They started making up songs. They know how to compose songs. And we think only people in this world know how to compose. They're also songwriters, singer-songwriters, the Braja Gopis. So on their way home, they started composing original songs, praising what Krishna had just done. Very excited to hear about Krishna, remember Krishna. Shrotavyas kirtitavyascha smartavyas chechchata bhayam. Sukadev tells Parikshit Maharaj, you want to get free from anxiety and the fears of life, existence? Shrotavyas kirtitavyascha smartavya. Then hear about Krishna, glorify Krishna, remember Krishna. You'll be all right. So separation creates this hunger. Tattva lolyam mulyam ekam Krishna bhakti rasa bhavitamati kriyatam yuti kutopina labhyate. Tattva lolyam mulyam ekalam janmakoti sukriterna labhyate. We're told this is the purchase price for Krishna consciousness, is hunger, genuine hankering, right? Not curiosity, not loyam, like mundane desire for something objective, but a deep, earnest, sincere hankering, the subjective aspect of things, internal culture, heart culture, and the heart's deep core, the deep heart's core, that's where this sort of feeling can manifest. Vinod bole hai hai haridas harinahi pai. Bhakti Vinod Thakur was saying, what is this? Hai, I mean, wow, I can't, Vinod bole hai hai, Haridas, I'm Haridas. Harinahi pai, can't find Krishna anywhere. As Guru Maharaj say, what's the fun? I'm the eternal servant of Krishna, I can't find Krishna. But that lamentation, that sort of anguish will yield substance, Krishna conscious substance. Hey Radhe Brajadevi Ke Chalalite Hey Nanda Shuno Kutaha. Prabhupada liked to quote this from the Shad Goswami Astakam. Hey Radhe Brajadevi Ke Chalalite Hey Nanda Shuno Kuta. Nanda Shuno, the son of Nanda, where is he? The search for Sri Krishna. That implies separation. Right? Means we're in the hankering position. And that's good. Hankering, lolyam, that's the purchase price. Genuine hankering. The search for Sri Krishna, reality of the beautiful. Hare Krishna.